Hey everyone, and welcome back to For the Par Mind Body Golf. It's been a while. I do apologise. I've had a lot going on in and out of this, but not all negative, not all positive, very indifferent across the board. But hopefully we're back, getting to some regular schedule, and we're starting here. So let's just jump straight into this video. I'm quite excited for this one. It's something different again. Very much focused on the body this time. I think there's an element of mind in this as well, but certainly body related. So let's dive straight in. So as part of my journey, I've started using an app called Pliability. They're not a sponsor. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I've done my own research, and it just happened to be the app that made the most sense for me. And the app is all focused around recovery and mobility. So one thing I've found during my training is, whilst I can lift relatively heavy for myself, my range of motion at times is not, maybe where I want it to be, especially in things like my squat. I've found that, and my coach has told me countless times, that my quads and my hamstrings are very tight. Obviously doing a lot of running this year has also not assisted with that. So I've really started to focus in and work on my mobility and recovery. So this is where we're at today. This is the focus of the video. This is showing you the very first ever session I've done of Pliability. I'm now a week into it. I've done 5 sessions during that time, and I've enjoyed every single one. For some context, the sessions are approximately anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes long on average, and it's really interesting holding stretches for elongated periods of time. Normally I'm in the gym, if I'm doing stretches before I work out, I'm, for lack of a better word, I'm like bouncing around for a couple of minutes, and then it's off to do the proper stuff, lifting the weights, etc. With this, you could be sat in a position for up to 3 or 4 minutes at a time, and damn, it works. Like, it really does. You can feel it in your muscles, and you kind of come out of it feeling like, okay, yeah, I really did something there, which is great. So yeah, I'm not going to talk through everything today because, frankly, I don't know a lot about the topic. I don't know all the names of the movements that I'm doing. I more wanted to do a show and tell and give you my feedback on how I've found the app. So I'm going to speed today's video up. There is absolutely no way I'm going to get you all to sit through 20 minutes of me stretching. That would be incredibly boring for you all. So this will be obviously sped up considerably. But what I will do is give you a little bit more insight into the app. So the app itself, when you first load it up, you get a week of free membership to try it out, which I think is really cool. Again, I want to make it very clear, this is not affiliated in any way. I'm not trying to pitch or sell the app to you. I'm just giving you my honest opinion of how I found it. So when you first load up the app, you can opt to do a mobility test. It's really cool. Like, obviously, in terms of how accurate and how exhaustive it has its limitations, of course, but the fact that it uses your camera to record you and to take points of reference from where your shoulders, where your hips, where your knees, where your arms, etc. are in relation to your body when you're doing this squat movement, it's really fascinating. And the fact that they've built that into the app, I think, is really cool. So you do a couple of movements in a couple of directions, I think facing forward, facing to the side, and then facing back, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. You listen to the person talking. You have an option of doing it with your camera placed somewhere, i.e. if you're doing it by yourself, or if you're lucky enough, like I had, my wife was doing it with me to record you could choose that as an option, which was really cool. So you do these 3 movements, and it essentially gives you an overall score, but it also points out potential areas of weakness where you're particularly vulnerable or where you need improvement. And like I say, although it's not exhaustive, it found my weakness fairly quickly. I've always suffered with a lower left back issue, which has related itself to my hip and my legs, or my leg. And straight away, that was the one thing that was the weakest score of all my mobility scores. If I can find it, I'll put my mobility score up on the screen. If it's not there, then I didn't find it. So I did that to begin with, and then jumped straight into my first session, which you're seeing on screen. It's not easy by any stretch. I think, pun not intended. I think I went into it thinking it was going to be a lot more relaxing than what it has been. And I guess what I mean by that is the movements aren't maybe supernatural for me. They may be for others. If you're, particularly flexible, it may be something that you just fall into and go, yeah, that was, really nice and relaxing. But for me, I had to think about some of the movements, even just right at the start, like where you're asked to sit on your knees and or sit on your legs, should I say, like in a kneeling position. Like that's just something that I'm naturally not very good at. One, I weigh quite a lot. So it puts a lot of pressure on my legs, but two, it's just not a comfortable position for me. But a week in, and I can already feel myself being able to do that for a lot more time without having to bounce myself up and whatnot. So yeah, anecdotally, it seems to be working, which is really, really cool. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm very fortunate. I'm doing this with my wife, so we're doing it together, which is lovely. I strongly suggest if you do have a partner or a friend that you can do this with, it adds to it. You're learning together. It's a bit of a shared experience, but at the same time, if you are doing it by yourself, it can be super relaxing and therapeutic. So that's where this mind side of it comes in. When you conclude a session, they always say at the end of the video, take 3 or 4 minutes to just lay there and let your body, I guess, embrace or acknowledge what it's just done. And it's something that I do every time. I wait until the video is finished and I'm just there relaxing. As you can see here, just relaxing away and taking it all in. And I think therapeutic is definitely the correct word. I've really, really enjoyed it. It's a really great experience. So like I say, not affiliated anyway, but huge shout out to Pliability. Thank you for making a really, really cool app. I'm going to carry on doing it, and I'll probably give sort of a 30-day update, so a month in. I'm hoping that each week I'll be able to do somewhere between 3 and 4 days of Pliability. That being said, I was snowboarding last week and I've completely busted my knee, so putting any weight on my knee at the moment is not really an option, so it limits how much pliability I can do. But I will update you within 30 days-ish to let you know how it's going. I think I've waffled on enough and sung Pliability's praises more than enough right now. And I just want to say it's great to be back on the channel. Like I say, it's been far too long. Had a bit of a different video that was last uploaded, which was my snowboarding trip from the start of the year. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It was a bit of a different set of content, but just something that I enjoyed editing and putting together. I'm definitely going to be back to sort of regular scheduled programming. Probably a little bit less golf at the moment because the weather in the UK is rubbish, unfortunately. But you'll certainly see some more body and mind stuff coming out, especially we're now just about 3 weeks from High Rocks, my big event for the year. So I'm super, super excited. Watch this space on that. All I want to say now is, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you wouldn't mind liking the video, leaving a comment, it all helps the algorithm. And outside of that, I've been Alex, this has been For The Par, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.